Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Hello, and welcome, everyone, to the part 3 of the YouTube Masterclass series, Numerology. Today, we're going to have a very powerful conversation around what it means to create money. The really big idea and a really big power, that we're all looking to create inside of life is how do we, secure ourselves materially? How do we create these experiences? We want to go out there and have them, and all the cool stuff in between. And I guess it's one of my most favorite topics to talk about because you know, left the employment world back in 2014 to go and pursue a career as an entrepreneur. So for me, learning how to make money was like, oh, it's easy, go get a job. Or, oh yeah, it's easy, go get a trained skill, go to school, go educate yourself, or ask your friends and see who they know and see who's hiring. So there was always that level of like, let's get to work. And then there was another space of this that now we have to explore and go through in the unlikely world of numerology. Like, really, we're going to talk about money making inside of a space where we appreciate numbers. And if you look at numbers, you kind of like think, well, if you look at numerology, maybe you're like some of my friends and I who think, it's astrology, or this is a concept of, mysticism. And on one side, it can get very mystical. As a matter of fact, it was a very interesting opening of my eyes when I realized how much technical and how much algorithmic and frequential this is. This is a frequency that we're looking for, an energy measurement. So when we look towards creating money and we're thinking about the vibration of success, the vibration of material, to create resources, we start to appreciate certain levels of frequency that are held together at a high level in order for them to translate towards a space of wealth or success, material, whatever it is. We're looking about making money. I'm not asking you what you want to do with it. And I'm not saying that your contribution is felt, with your time. We'd look towards this part of the masterclass to say, look, there's 3 parts of this. One part is let me master myself. And we went into a conversation around what it looks like to go inside of who I am. And then second time we went through this, we went through relationship and love and how to create that. And to be fair, it was another rehash of how to go inside and how to go into the self. Getting a theme here as we go now into the third part, where we start to take a look at what is available for us to create wealth and success and business and money. Guess where we go? Inside. And it's almost the same conversation, but with a bunch of really interesting ways of identifying it through language. Most of my friends and my clients, we are online entrepreneur. So our space is to create value and to deliver value online. And if you are a door-to-door salesman or a salesman at a big company, big firm, maybe you just be on your phone. Where would you be going to go and grab your audience or to go and build your value? Now, what we end up taking for granted is how much availability things are for us through the chain of industry. The chain of industry, you have opportunity, you've got employment, you've got innovation happening there for you. Someone else's successful idea is taken off or they're working on it because it's a very beautiful time right now where so much is happening that you can become very busy working a job or getting a career. And if this is okay for you, then go ahead, shut the video off. It's fine. No shame, no harm. If it satisfies you, you're successful and then you're good. But if you're not satisfied with that, some of us thirst for a bigger dollar or a more tangible way of securing our own levels of success. So there's a safety net in a salary with vacation pay, but then they tell you when to take vacation, they tell you when to work, they tell you how much the cap is at, that you're being given something, and in exchange for what you're giving, it's exactly the same model, guys, that we're looking at inside of wealth and inside of success, personal, to make money, that you bring out a transaction of value, and then I would expect the transaction of wealth and value to come back to me. But it's not because it's like the worker says, well, I worked 8 hours, so where's my paycheck? the information we get now is that what you give or what you invest into the universe or into the void, it's going to come back for you. It's going to come back to you. It's going to reverberate back to you. Like it's going to. This is a quantum physics. This isn't a matter of whether the universe likes you more than it likes me. You're going through an experience right now, which is going to give you a magnetism to it. The people will love to say things like, okay, well then where is it? If I want it, if I've been dreaming about it and I put that energy out there, how come it's not coming to me? I look towards, a very big machine that we're approaching. Part of this feels, oh, it's law of attraction, mystical. It's just some voodoo hearsay. Another part's like, no, 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 it's real work. You really gotta work at it. You really have to take this, and really screw your head on right. For those of us who are appreciating how mystical this may sound, there's a giant level of technical information that you've missed or that you've overlooked or that we didn't even realize was part of the equation. For example, you think a thought, like, oh, someone teaches me law of attraction, manifestation, and the power of belief. So I believe that I'm going to have this success in my life. And then we take that belief and then we stop believing it. We go back to the energy frequency of, oh yeah, no, not for me, or oh yeah, no, okay, well, oh, and then this happened, and oh, that was a great thought. I was trying to get that thing off the ground or off the road. And then you leave it there, right? And then, oh, right, law of attraction, I gotta think about that again. And then so our mind comes back now into a frequency of saying, oh, I'm gonna think about it, no wonder it doesn't work. No wonder you're gonna be in a space there where you're like, oh, no, it's not gonna be something that you can take with you. So be careful when you start writing ideas and codes, because those are going to work. If you look at it and say, oh, it didn't work, then the code for you is, oh no, it didn't work. And then you're next in that space that says, I'm just going to operate from a code that I've magnetically put on top of myself in order to prevent myself from any further challenge or further pain. This is something that happens to us all the time. So in case you get yourself caught under this tidal wave, and you're sitting there with a cup throwing water at the ocean, like you're not going to get anywhere. There's something deeper in your mechanism that allows you to experience the power of success without having to fight the day or fight the tide or fight something that's it doesn't make any sense. What I would like to introduce you to is the value of how an algorithm and the numerology aspect of this can actually change your internal makeup and either turn the ocean smaller or turn your cup bigger, or you create your own lake. But there's so much intrinsic value inside of you, the wealth and the success in you, and it's constantly being subsidized through the mass marketing of what has been delivered for us as safety. We're not interested in so much freedom anymore. This has become a very cult-like message. This is safer to go out there and just be safe. And then you're like, well, wait a second. It's not safe for me. It's not safe for someone who's a free thinker or who wants to, run by the calendar of their own space. What do we get? We have to pick up something from ourselves too. This guy's success recipe worked great for him, but was it going to work for me? The more I see numbers, the more I appreciate algorithm, the more I'd love to identify how unique your set is. It doesn't need to be the thing that everyone else has. Like, you have your own access point to it. So we would like to identify, from the space of energy and algorithm, where does it actually show up? How, at what vibes are we seeing them? And do we get to use every single vibration possible? Do we need to use every single vibration possible? What's a part of the makeup of, of creating a unique level of success? So let's take a look. I will show you guys a couple of things on my screen so we can absolutely say that this is a master class. When the master class begins, we start looking at things like language. And that's a big part of my arena is demystifying what it means to see something that looks very mystical. So let's take a quick peek here. We got August 13, 2022. So just to appreciate what day we're looking at right now, 2022. We've got an energy here of giving and an energy here of work and also an energy of creation. So I hope that you guys enjoy this value because this is stuff that I do teach. These are things that, you know, are show up inside of our programs and our courses. And, you know, what we're about to do is take you through a snapshot version of that. So, you know, the way that my business works is that we bring value to the market. We bring value to the place. Should allow you to build something, especially on a day like today. Should allow you to conclude something, complete something, or to create, and then to get into the creation, like, you know, what was holding me back? Now it's not. Now I'm going to get a chance to get to work and put myself out there and really do the thing. So this is the space that we have inside of this like set of numbers, month, day, and year. And then on the other side of the set of numbers, we have 9, which is grateful, failure, money, love, business, problems. So we have 9 energy of a very philanthropic collective energy of everything included. So we would love to be in the space of grateful, to share the wisdom from our failures, to really appreciate how that all connects to us. It's a connection and energy. So going about this alone, you know, you may be watching this alone. You know, I get that. It's a YouTube. So I'm sending this message to you guys in the future. But it's still the energy of me giving, wanting to be there to provide solution for you through a couple of different spaces that we've got to work on. And in the terms of wealth and success, 8, 4, and 6, this is the Super Bowl. So let's dive in. You know, we look towards success as a mental concept, but we feel it as a physical one. We look to it toward an idea or solution or thinking outside of the box or trying to create some level of something that will allow us another space or get to another part of us and blah, blah, blah. So it's nice to enjoy that it starts off as something that we buy or something that an idea that we subscribe to or prescribe to. We look to this thing and say, oh, I like this. I want this. Oh, I like that apple. I want that apple. Oh, I like that house. Oh, I like that girl. Oh, I like this. I like that. I want this. Oh, I want that. Oh my gosh, I'd like to go get that one. So there's a basic magnetism that allows us to be like, oh, interesting. Hey, I'd like to see that. And then suddenly we want to go into that experience. Like I would have never cared about Disneyland if someone didn't show me Mickey Mouse as a kid. I wouldn't have cared about McDonald's. Nobody shared me Happy Meals as a kid. So see, because I have these experiences when I'm smaller, they start to deliver me expectations for what I'm going to consider a successful space, like taking my family out, we go get fresh fries and ice cream, and we go sit in the park and we go enjoy them, right? Success for me means spending time with my family, or enjoying with my family, or working with my family, getting to work together. Like there's a lot of value inside of what I consider success. Or maybe let's taking my kids on a really nice little vacation and they want to go out and they want to enjoy stuff. And for me, it started off like that, but then you kind of grow through your life as an entrepreneur and you're like, let's build a vacation life. Let's stop trying to go away to get away from things. And let's build our life like we live in an Airbnb, we live in a vacation, we live in a luxury experience. Like this is the important factor. And a lot of us get looped in to, no, I'm only successful once I make the money. Okay, so I get it. You feel like you're only getting, why do you want to make the money though? So you're going to look at it. No, I don't want to work, or I want to have free time, or I want to spend this, or I like that. And then that thing comes back into your mind that, oh, I was sold an idea that I needed this in order to become successful, or in order to feel the value of success. And money's been the big, huge common denominator. We all want to make it. We all need it to survive, unless you live in a very barter-like trade for trade society. You don't. You have to go out there and create wealth and income, and people are going to ask you if you take Visa or Express or Amex or whatever. Like there's a space in there that says what value did you provide in order to get this energy frequency back out? And some people have figured it out. And you know what's the weirdest people you think? It's the homeless people who are content not working because there's so much philanthropy out there. There's so many people focusing on other people's problems that they didn't even need to focus on theirs. They realized they didn't need that much. And this guy's living like a king of the trash can. And he's like, well, I mean, how much do I need? And you could actually learn from this guy. Did you know that? You find one of these people who are very smart, they don't care to apply themselves because they don't need very much. And I mean, this looks very strange. You go to the guy who's he's got a stick and a boat, a really sharp stick, a really good looking knife, and a boat. And he lives somewhere in the tropics. When he's hungry, he's gonna go out to the water and he's gonna go and kick stick the fork into the fish, and then he gets good at it, and he comes back and he grills a fish. Hey, give me some salt and give me some garlic or give me some butter, and I'll be back. I'll cook you dinner. And this is, I mean, like you only have to do this a few times before you really get all the materials you need, all the salt, butter, and garlic you could wish for to cook the best fish in the world. And I mean, really, if this was the most funnest thing you could ever do, imagine taking a couple buddies with you and charging them a couple dollars each to go and fish with you, or to buy your fish. Hey, I caught 5 extra fish today. You sell it to you for this, or I'll sell it to you for this if you cook it. It's so simple. Once you get into the mindset of solution driving, even yourself in poverty gives you a barterable, exchangeable, like a space for you growing into just survivability is enough for you to get into the next space, or even just to enjoy the space. This is called relative wealth. Is not such a a flashy, fancy looking life, but I mean, it is the base level experience for that which success can actually grow. Think about it. He goes and eats a fish, he's going to be and feel successful. You'd be very successful in teaching people how to fish, or selling fish, or selling rods, or teaching you how to hunt for fish. Like there's so much experience in that you have to take back into consideration. You look to yourself thinking there's no opportunity, or there's nothing I can do. I'm like, did you know that people give shit away? Like you don't even need to buy it. Like someone would would gladly let you take it off their hands, because to their perspective, it no longer has a speck of value. Like this is how perverted success has become, that, you could find like an antique, super vintage, set of, spoons, and, someone would pay hundreds of dollars for them. And the antique store, nobody gives a shit. It can't get off the thing. You take it for 50 cents. And you don't know this because we're stuck on where the wealth isn't. We're stuck on where success is not. We experience things at a low level, feel it through the body. You'd be surprised how little your head actually feels. So crazy. It just sends electricity throughout your body, being like, that doesn't feel good. You don't want that. Go into another direction. Save me from this. Think about that. Oh, I see that. It's just in charge of seeing things and then calculating it based on its own experience. The body sends the experience. You have a really strong disconnection from what it means to be successful, feel successful, and create it. So we look towards numerology. Again, back to this space. I'm like, okay, let's go into language then. Because if you appreciate what we're doing, what we're going to do is we're going to set a new level of ideas and a new level of words around what it means to experience success, numerology, and together. So when I first found out about this, it was about finding the currency or the success, the creator energy. Okay, this is like God, queen, legacy. Yeah, there's more, but I saved two for negative ones because, I'm like, well, it's not always good. The blocks and anxiety, you're going to be dealing with stuff, and it's really hard, very hard work. But it's a magnetic principle. So it's like, oh, it's hard work, but not hard work for me. I mean, it's whoever's going to do it. I'm going to convince somebody to do the hard work. I'm going to convince someone else to get that thing done. Like imagine all of these numbers. Even if we look towards outside of God and you go into profit, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And this is an energy of 8 that says, I will speak my word. I'll tell you, I'm going to express it. And here's how it's going to go down. And so you get into this energy of creator or authority, who's in charge, and how it happens. And this is the vibration of success. So here we are looking at, I want to win. I want to be a winner. I want to be rich. I want to make lots of money. I want to be successful. How about, what are some of the things that you guys are saying? I want to be rich. I want to make money. I want to have a good business, right? How about profitable? Okay. You see how some of these words are very easy to, I want freedom. Let's take a small little look at this. And I'm like, this is not uncommon, they're like, oh, I want a profitable business, or I want freedom. I want to, I want to buy, or I want money. I want to be rich. I want to win big. What else do you say when you talk about wanting to become successful, right? You would like the value to create success in your life, but we just, I want to make, I want to get, I want to make this happen, or I want to get this. Like we don't talk in terms of success or creator, or, and then you look at what these numbers can offer us. You're looking at things that say that feel like, what am I going to create today? Or how, or what's the, what success do I stand for? What vibration of success do I want to create? What do I want my legacy to look like? You see the difference in what it means to think, or how do I serve my queen, my wife? What's the legacy I want to leave behind? How does that feel, as opposed to saying things like, how will I be successful? Or what am I going to do to be successful? What do I do to win? How do I become rich? I just want to be rich. I just want to make this amount of money. I just want to make money. And even as I say that, you see how I use the word just, like I just want to do that. And I mean, you think about justice is an energy of success and creation energy. So it's not like we're, if I look at what is just, the bare minimum, or what is justifiable, again, I'm losing something here that says, I just want to be rich. It's just this much. It's just a small amount. Can't this be just, enough, just enough? We look towards this energy, like it's not pushing us into the frequency of abundance, or to the frequency of forever, or like freedom or creation. It says, well, here, catch the apple, falls for you. Or here, hold on, here's a fish. Did you need another one? Like, how can I, what do you need? Let's get into that. Because if you just need this, or you just need help, you just need just, you're going to be in a space of scrambling, or in a space of just mediocre poverty, or at the lowest spaces of you. Imagine the value that you have inside of you. It's so awesome to see this message again. As I got this message from my it was painful because I remember going through a tough time, and my uncle, or my neighbor, I called my uncle, was about valuable and wise. He said this shit to me on a bad day, and next thing you know, I'm like, "You're my uncle," because I'm Indian. So every Indian guy you meet is your uncle. So then he said to me that he's like, sometimes you may not have $5 in your pocket, but you have $1 million in your mind. And then I was just like, this is like, it was just so profound. I could feel the wind blowing as he said it. I was just like, man, just outside of my house, right? Where I was, coming in from walking from the back from work. And then he said that to me, and I was just like super inspired to go along my entrepreneur journey at that moment. Then my kids were helping me out the other day, and real talk, this is difficult. So they're helping me out the other day, and then so they get extra time, free time playing with their iPads. So usually we give them an hour at night, and it's a tough time to get them to help out. So they look forward to their hour at night because they're not feeling like helping that day. And so today they got hours of their iPad, like for the last time. So then it's time to take the iPad away, and they don't get that hour of iPad at night because, of course, they had their iPad all day long, and they were very helpful. So they earned it, very big reward. Then he gets a really angry attitude about it. One of my sons says, "Well, I'm not doing anything anymore. I'm not going to do anything. This is not fair. You can't take away my iPad, this and that." And I felt really sad and really upset, thinking I haven't inspired him to learn what it means to be humble, or learn what it means to feel the value of your achievement, or feel the value. He just felt like a little kid, like daddy was taking my toys away. And I was like, it's time for bed. It's time for us to get ready for bed. It's time for us to start doing other things. No, he's in a fuss, or he's in a mood. So it was a really challenging space to learn that energy that makes me feel like he's very attached to the material and doesn't find the value in something. I mean, I was 6 too. I was 7 as well. So I remember being there. And I remember the challenge that my dad went through when he was like, "Oh, this kid doesn't know the value of money." I'm like, "Well, how the hell am I supposed to know the value of money? I don't work for money. I don't work for money. I work for my toys. I work for the value of my free time. Or like if I can have something, I don't have a concept for money yet." So then I watched this message that came back to me again. And this little kid was like, my son's age. And it was the worst thing to see for me because I was like, shit, what am I doing as a parent? I got to help my child. And this is my version of this, is to set forth these messages and to really help you guys appreciate what it means to be successful and how to deliver that forth. So I saw this little kid, and he talked about how someone was making fun of his shoes, and said, he said he's not a very material person. So it wasn't about him making fun of the shoes. He liked the color, he liked the style, he liked them. It was nice for him to have them, but some other kid was picking on him for having those level of shoes. And he said that it wasn't about what you wear, and it wasn't about the things that you buy, because those things will fade. In 20 years, the shoes are not going to fit you anymore, and you're not going to have them anymore, and you're not going to care about them anymore. And it's not going to be about about what you wore on your feet, but it's going to be about what you know and what you took with you, and what's inside of you that really counts. And I'm getting this message from an 8-year-old, and it was just so he was very well spoken. I wish I saved the video because it just reminded me of how bright and how beautiful our future is, that we have small people already aware of the reality that the material doesn't mean shit. And it's just a very small little piece of the puzzle that allows you to wear at the surface level. And yet we worry about it so much to think that if this is taken away from me, then I have no value. Or if this is gone, if I don't have the right shoes, then I'm not important, or that I'm not as good as you, or that I don't get this, or that this is a thing there. And I looked to this space, and I was sad at that moment. So looking at my child, being like, I'll teach you what it means to be successful one day. Like, I mean, thinking in my own mind, I will teach you what it means to know your own value and to know your own worth, and to not feel unimportant or smaller, or feeling like something's been taken away from you. Like, some kids don't have an iPad. Some kids don't have, there's no electronic devices to play with. And we get very excited, about buying the brand new phone, or buying the brand new this or that. And I look how many iPads I have. and how many times I used to buy new iPads because they broke, and I realized how cheap and easy it was to fix them. And I was like, wow, I would have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on iPads, and then learning that it was fun and therapeutic and easy and small and very quick to just grab the small little kit, pry off the little thing, glue on the next little thing, plug it in, and you're good to go. And in 20 minutes, I can fix an iPad. Like, it's so interesting to think, and I'm looking at myself being like, well, look at how successful that guy would look. Oh, little Johnny broke his iPad again. Gotta go get him a new one. Oh, now the new one's out. Let's go get the new iPad. Another 800, 900 bucks, $1,000. But the iPad that my little kid wants now is like $2,000. I'm like, yeah, they got out of hand. He's like, I'm gonna get an iPad. I want my own iPad. I looked to it, someone got 1, 2, 3 of them, 4 of them, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them at the house, tablets. Like there was one mentality, and if I hadn't learned how to fix them, I would have gone through dozens, because the little kid's gonna break them. There's no like, can you imagine the person who teaches their children how to take time and how to take care, as opposed to us who got 5 kids? Oh, here, play with one, or here you go, take it. And then next thing you know, they don't want to share it with each other. And then you have this warped sense of mentality that says, wow, I guess they say success really skips a generation, because you can go out there and learn how to make the money, but do you learn how to teach your children how to be successful? And do you know what the difference is between making money and being successful? Like, we're really in a very cool looking position to be able to afford things magnetically. Like, as an entrepreneur, hey, the big money comes easy, right? The hard money comes slow, and it's like or you can get the constant drip of employment, and there's an easiness to that. It's a different level of hard. But when entrepreneur goes out there to get something done, we're like, oh, we spend for days, and then we have to become frugal. It's like, okay, well, now we get to cut back, and you get to flow into this different spaces of what you did when the sun was out. Did you buy all the iPads? Did you get all the toys? Did you work on all that gem stuff so that you have all these diamonds, so that when it's raining out and there is nothing happening and it's a challenge in your business, what do you have to fall back onto? Is it a bunch of material that's not going to matter? You're going to end up trying to sell it? Or is it this space that says, look, I've found and created so much value, intrinsic wealth. Like, there's so much joy in that, to know that, oh yeah, let all the money go. Let all the money challenge itself. Let all of it. What are you afraid of? What are you attached to? How far willing are you to go back? Are you willing to go back to the days of employment, or the days of buy and sell, or the days of spaces that says, oh, I've got to go get a job, or I've got to go do what I can and hustle my space so that I can make my ends meet? This is a valuable lesson for us all to learn in money, that they're just trying to scare you. And that is a very valuable way of getting you to spend it. It's a very valuable way of giving your power, your freedom, and your spending, your dollar spending ability away to someone else, because we're stuck in wanting to just be okay, just get help, just be profitable, have my freedom, be rich and be a big winner and help and just make more money. I'm like, there's a problem with money. There's a very big problem with money. And here's the challenge, is that it holds so much space inside of the 729 that we end up misidentifying problems, love, awkward, vibration of philanthropy, vibration of caring and giving. Like, we look towards care. This is not a vibration of success. This is a vibration of failure. And so is a vibration of grateful. So there's like I remember beating Mario or playing Mario as a kid. And for the longest time, for all the castles you went as a kid, up until you got to the level 8 Bowser, there's no princess in there. And you'd have to go into an empty castle. You have failure. But then, of course, you still pass the level. So you'd be kind of grateful. And then you go on to the next one and say, I got to go figure out this next. Let's go on to the next challenge. Let's go on to the next challenge. There's no princess in here. There's no queen in here. There's no success, or there's nothing that worked in here. So we look towards these spaces. And this, again, is one of the most challenging things to appreciate, is the value of business. The value of business itself is a failure mechanism that's waiting to crumble. It's waiting to fall. It's been built up like a carny at the fair. Because I'm only gonna be here for 2 weeks. I'm gonna make a lot of money and then I'm gone. And then I go back there, they're gone. Oh, I wanted to get more cotton candy. I wanted to take my kid there again. Oh, sorry, too bad. They're off to the next space. They're doing the same thing, but there's no more money in an empty parking lot. Now they're going to go out there to a new area and deliver their show to a brand new audience and go there and do the same thing again. And oh my gosh, talk about being a big fish in a small pond. You go out there and inside of your spaces, going out there to create it again, it's like you become small again. And this is going to happen in your numerology every 9 years. You get to go back to the beginning again, reinvent yourself again, go and do the whole thing again until you pop and you're done. But not more on that later. Here we're really settling the score now because we'd like to help you become successful. Oh my gosh, what a pitch. What an offer. I will help you. I want you to make money. I want you to be successful. It's like, of course, but how much is that going to cost me? What's the exchange in that? Very much glad you asked. We believe in winner-winner exchange. This is why I talk to you as if you're a commercial and you're not actually there. And I'm just saying it because it's probably happening in your mind anyway. And just like every single other person says, what's he going to do? How's this going to, how many people have already checked my website? How many people have already said, let's say, hey, I'm turned on. Hey, I like that. And then, hey, I like that again. Let me check it out. And then you go to my website and then you see for yourself. There's a mechanism to this. This is a very valuable way of building your business is by being present. The same way that the panhandler, I always thought about doing that. I do a very interesting thing with numerology. And instead of, I had an idea of the guy who's just sitting there waiting at the stop. He's like, waiting for someone to pay me. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, what if I went in there and I decided that I was going to show people, or like the guy who has his dirty bucket and the squeegee, and he's trying to wash your nice car with his dirty ass water, and you're like, what the hell are you doing? And then like I wanted to get like a t-shirt that calls myself the Squeegee Guys, and then have like a white hat, white shirt, glasses on, and a nice bucket with nice water and nice soap, and actually have two buckets, a dirty one and a clean one. Water is going to be able to clean this guy's windshield properly while he's waiting there, and just do it as a courtesy and as a service, and see how much money I make just on tips. And not even telling any, I'm like, it's by donation only or by tips only. And I'll tell you a funny joke while I'm doing this for you. But I gotta do a nice little whistle, and I make it a small little thing, and I give them a tiny 15-20 second experience. Boom, Squeegee Guys is born. And you offer yourself just a small bit of innovation. Same dirty bum who's trying to take your money and do it for nothing and just make your car dirty, scratch your windshield. And on the other space of it, you're like, look, I presented myself. I'm bringing a message to you. It's value. I'm bringing you value first. You're making money that way. Same thing here as well, too. I'm going to bring you guys value first. And you don't have to buy anything. You watching this, you're not obligated to do anything. I'm still going to bring out value because I understand the numbers. I understand the algorithms. I understand knowing what audience means. You're hitting a 10-to-1. Success in business mechanism is a 9-to-1 failure space. So when you look towards creating money and you look towards creating success in your life, how forward with value are you willing to fail? Like, think of it like paint. Like, I'm holding on to my paint. I mean, if you don't paint the road on the line on the road, nobody's going to know that they're where to stop or where to turn or where, but my paint is all I have. This is my value. I'm like, your value doesn't mean anything if you don't express it. If you don't give it out there and pave the road with what you have, you're never going to make it anywhere anyway. So you have to appreciate that what you've got is so much more valuable than what you think you have. Like what you have is a very beautiful space of inspiration for others. We're all needing of it. We're all in the space of it. We're all in the creation of it. But sometimes, hey, you've got some levels of your chart that are not actually working, with the other ones. Like they may, it may say you want to be successful in one space. Like let's take a look really quickly at mine. Okay, my birthday here, June 28, 1984. You see my name, and I'll give you my real name here so you guys can see it. So and then I added Bobby Perryhart to my vibration. So looking at my space of Bobby Perryhart or Balwant Perryhart, the space in here shows up as 7 Balwant, or Bobby shows up as a 1, Balwant shows up as a 1. My name expresses out to a 7, or I express out to a 9, right? So nobody's calling me Mr. Perryhart, or Balwant Francisco, or Balwant Francisco Bobby Perryhart. Like this is a long name, but they call me Bobby Perryhart or Balwant Perryhart. This is me on a resume, or me growing up through my experience, through income and wealth and whatever, trying to show up on a resume. So I had numbers in the 9, which was always showing me failure concepts inside of my experience. Constantly in relationship, constantly in success, in job, in education, at school. Like, I wanted to do good, and then I just couldn't do good. Just wouldn't be able to figure it out. It's a negative thing that happens. You end up sticking your head out, and then bonk, you're like, whack-a-mole got me. And it hurts to stick my head out now. I don't want to stick my head out anymore. And so I took on a lot of failure inside of my spaces. Of course, I have an energy that says, I'll keep sticking my head out. So I landed on entrepreneur for a very weird looking reason. Actually, I just couldn't stand the thought of being fired over and over again. I would rather fail as a business than fail repeatedly as an entrepreneur. I just didn't have the confidence. So a couple of months into my entrepreneur journey, entrepreneur, I don't need to be this like spiritual guy, right? And what happens? I meet a numerologist who changes my vibration around and gives me Bobby F. Perryhart. And it was easy for me to take because F is my middle name, Francisco. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And it wasn't like right overnight that success started to feel into my space, but I was in a space of reclamation. Right before this, I was going through a very difficult time. I was a very difficult individual, and I wasn't going anywhere fast. It was getting really difficult for me to be able to, just do anything. And then as an entrepreneur, obviously it carried over. And it wasn't about 6 months in that I was like, man, what do I got to do? What is it that's making me, go into this space? I can't figure it out. And so when I looked at it, I was like, okay, now I'm in a space of 6, which is a space of wealth and success and vibration and creation, blah, 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 blah. And over the next few years, things cleaned up. My business started to take off. I met my wife. I had my children, moved to the island, created my, podcast. We created so many different things that happened with it. Became a speaker, and all, published a book. All of the cool things. You're like, oh wow, nice. Sounds pretty successful. And I'm like, man, the real success though, like the real success is actually hanging out with my kids. Like I was always deathly afraid of being away from my family while I wanted to have children. I was like, what happens if I need to raise my kids and I'm not going to be there. And I'm going to feel like I'm not a good dad and this and that. I'm like, this isn't how I want to raise my family. So for me, the true success wasn't actually being in success of material as much as it was being in love and having loving relationships that I could hang out with and be around, like my family. In order to do that, it's one of the coolest. You look towards, what are you really doing here on this life? It's the coolest thing, is realizing what your success is, really, truly, your satisfaction really, truly is. So for me, moving these things around in your business became a passion. For me, helping people go through what challenges them inside of their life, super, super fulfilling, because the need to serve inside of my 9 and the need to be philanthropic is very there. Also, the need to be there and study someone in my 7 is there. Also, the need for me to go out there and be by myself in wealth, it's there in the 1. So I had all these ingredients that were working for me, but then a couple of ingredients that weren't working for me. And it was not like I was trying to not make it work. I was doing my best. But as I needed to get through to a bigger space in my chart, I needed to be able to put something inside of my energy that was going to level me off and create what you see today, which is someone who teaches, someone who enjoys doing this. I love reading your chart. I love reading your numbers. It's one of the coolest things ever to give you this level of insight. It's like we're finding fire again. Like, it takes a lot to say that. You find something that's like, holy heck, I didn't know that this was so profound. I thought it was just a very mystical thing. And I tell you, it's not. The mystical thing is how we've been made to believe how this life works. We think it's a very mystical process, but I look at this and I'm like, it's a very electrical one. I spend time upgrading your vibes all day. Your vibrations need to be in a very powerful space in order to hold. Because if you go in walking with freedom, failure, and try it, and I just need to get this, I just, and oh my God, the successful money is gonna see the energy there is not there. It's like, no, you don't have the container for this. You're swirling around smaller numbers and smaller energy, while success and currency and money are literally sitting at the 8 and the 9. The only time you're going to get this chance to see that is when you're in your anxiousness or when you're caring or serving someone else. And then it becomes that powerful negative challenge. So how come I can help other people make money? How come I can help other people become successful? Where's my success? That's the problem, is that you're saying, how come I can help someone else, but then I can't help myself? It's because you're saying that you can't help yourself. You have to treat yourself like one of the success stories that you're working on or working with. Because I know my success is coming. I know that I'm already very grateful for what I have. And I only consider the success that shows up for me now. This is success. And then I have something to magnetize. I have something that's going to show up for the universe and swirl around it and come back magnified to me, saying this is more material success. This is more value of it. So getting into the hustle mode of that is finding what you're grateful for truly, immediately inside of you, intrinsically, like right away. So important to have that. And until the stars align and you have a numerology reading and I fix your name, and a lot of people have said that you just go see Bobby. He's going to give you a new name. He's going to give you a new set of numbers to read, or a new set of numbers to new set of letters to have. And I say, does it vibe? I look at what you're using, and is it a brand? Does it vibe? Is it a course? Does it vibe? Is it marketing? Does it vibe? Is it a message? Does it vibe? Does everything you're saying vibrate at the resonate at the vibration frequency of success or wealth or desire of what you're looking to create? So of course people are like, well, it's not always about success and wealth. And I'm like, actually, it is. It's just that every single number gets to ride it. Like every single number gets to ride wealth, and every single number gets to ride success. Look at entrepreneur. Look towards wealth. Okay. So wealth is 6. Entrepreneur gets to ride it. What about number 2? Teacher. Okay. Teacher gets to ride vibration of wealth. Trust or truth. Okay. Again, you can still use this as an energy to experience vibration of wealth and creation. 426, 516, 786, visionary. So see how these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, how about the value of 6 itself? Using your word or gratitude, in order to grab into wealth. You see how all of those numbers are going to show up. So just in case you're like, well, it's not always about wealth. I'm like, there's like 9 different types of what it means to be wealthy. So you don't need to say that it's not all about wealth. It's not all about what you're considering your singular definition of wealth to be around. Same thing with success. Let's go back and let's just do this one. Same thing with success. Wealth energy, or maybe someone who likes to climb a mountain, or maybe inside of the vibration of profit or the vibration of legacy is a really important part of like a two experiencing that, or just having a value of creator or just being funny is a very valuable space of creating success. Putting in the work or creating a structure, like look towards the value of queen. And we love to think, am I able to be in control or have a rule over my success? Important numbers to experience. And then 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see how success, again, currency travels through different numbers. Some people want it to be very, very difficult and very, I need to do it like this. And some people are like, I don't care how it's done. It's just so much fun. Did it even get done? Oh, wow, it got done. Hey, you see the difference? It's like, oh, this one, it's going to work for sure because I take the time to do everything properly. So by the time I give it to you, I don't even need to look at it anymore because of course it's going to work. Don't waste my time. There's a success mechanism that unfolds inside of dealing with 4 energy or dealing with 3 and 5, which is a little bit more aloofness. So, think about it. How does your success need to show up? On top of this, going back to part 1, knowing yourself and knowing how you show up and what you're looking for inside of your life is a large part of how your success will magnetize toward you. It becomes a difficult space when someone's really attached because of an idea or an emotional experience of something that doesn't serve them. Having your numerology read, it's the most important conversation you'll ever have. It's the most important conversation you'll ever have. The next most important conversation you have is getting your human design chart done with Sally, my wife. But the most important thing forever is to learn, what do these programs and what do these algorithms have to say about you? And they're malleable, so you can work them around in a slight way variation or form to serve your purpose or to serve your benefit. This has been the most valuable calling. I've never done something in my life for so long with so much success. I've struggled with everything, guys. Business, I struggled with jobs, relationships, personal health, personal well-being, but nothing like numerology helping people and being there for others has ever been so satisfying and so profound. We find our home. We find our home in a space that does this. So as we round off this series, I am very excited for you, thanking you for watching and being a part of this experience. There are so many doors to open. We talked about self, we talked about money, we talked about love. What about parenting? What about spirituality? What about good old business planning? Forecasting. This is an important energy that says there's so much to unfold that I've done and will continue to do more. Master classes on these topics as well. We host events around these topics. Whether it be something that you're wanting to share publicly or privately, we do this inside of session as well. But there is not a problem that I will not feel confident in being able to fix through the value and the power of your frequency, if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to put in the effort and you're willing to take in these steps. Having a conversation like this is just what the doctor ordered. And I'm looking forward to being able to see you. And, you'll say things like, Bobby, I saw your video and I wanted to check it out. I want to be a part of this. And we'll connect even further, more powerfully there, where you let me into your life. So I thank you guys again for watching this. This was a lot of fun. Catch me on Saturdays. This is Saturday today, but usually Saturdays I'm going to be on Facebook broadcasting, dealing with people live and actually working live charts for you. This part of the year right now, we're in the energy frequency of my podcast show, The Success Mechanics, where we talk a lot of what we just talked about today, but further expanded based on the daily digs of what you're going through and what energy available is for you. So if you'd like to book your session in, it's tinyurl.com/Bobby90min. So BOBBYN, 90MIN. And then if you're just wanting to browse what we have to offer, www.createloveandwealth.xyz is the site. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Catch you guys on social media, and let me know in the comments how you enjoyed this. And if you would like me to do a masterclass on anything else, let me know. What would you like to see? I'll tell you the next one I'm going to do is on Twitch. I'm going to go on Twitch and we're going to talk about the aspects of video gaming in relation to living your life and how programmable it is to actually live your life the same way that you build role-playing characters and stats and experience points. Oh